Check out the latest Quickhitter from the Pure Hoops podcast as BJ Armstrong and Eric Newman take a close look at the greatness of Russell Westbrook. Enjoy. Did you get into the Stephen A. Russell Westbrook back and forth this week at all?
I saw it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Russell? And you know, I thought his response was very thoughtful and spot on. What do you think?
Well, here's my true thoughts. You know, Eric, as you get older, you see through the nonsense, right? You know, very rarely do I have an immediate reaction to things because I've seen these movies before, right? I've been seeing this, Eric's. I came into this business as a 21-year-old kid, and now at my age now, I've got 30 years of experience to see through the nonsense, okay? So I will say this. You know, I feel so fortunate to have played in a league where I saw the birth of talk radio. Okay, I've seen this movie before. Okay, and to all of the players who are listening, they should know the following. Okay, a star player's name in the headlines means something to that business. A star player's name in the headlines, whether it's on television, in that time it was newspaper, now it's on social media and all these sites, it means something. So if you see a star player's in headlights, you're more likely to click on it. Just like if you saw that star player's name on the front page, you're liable to pick up the newspaper and read it.
Yep.
This is business. It's never
Some would
personal.
call that clickbait.
Okay. Now, I understand business-wise why that was done. And the reason I understand that, Eric, is because some of that happened to me as a player. I'm not saying I was as good as Russell Westbrook, but I've seen that. I've played with players who were star players. I've seen this movie. Most important, Eric, is what I want to share with the players, since you asked me, is the following. Whether it's a radio host, a television host, internet podcast, this podcast here, there's a person on this podcast you can't see who's producing this show. And 9 times out of 10, but I'm going to say 9 times out of 10 because we don't like to be 100% correct. But before every show that's done on a major network, there is a production meeting and everybody knows what people are talking about that day and what people want to hear. Stop me when I'm wrong, Eric, and I'll stop this conversation. So it's important for our youth today and for our kids today, and this is what people that's my age need to tell these young people, because if I could tell these young people, I would tell them, okay, it's a game. All of those people have production people that are sitting behind the meetings, figuring out what people will engage their audience. Eric, stop me when I'm wrong now. So these executive producers and producers who never ever have to come in contact with these young men who are out there playing their hearts out are doing what they got to do to play this game in the name of making money. And it's important for our kids to understand. Play the game, but don't let the game play you. Play the game. And if you understand the game, if you understand, and this is what made me get into the business, because, Eric, if there's one thing I feel passionate about, is I want to share with these kids, not about basketball. That's the easy part. The hard part is what's really going on, the things you can't see. And, Eric, I've been a part of them production meetings. I've been a part of those executive producers who are writing these narratives. I've been a part of all of those things before it gets on there and it looks, hey, Eric, you know how it looks unscripted? You know what I mean, Eric? Well, maybe you don't know what I mean. Eric, maybe you don't know what I mean.
I don't know how I would know.
But Eric, see, this is what I want to tell these Russell Westbrooks. Call BJ. He'll tell you how them shows really are produced.
Yep.
And I'll tell you how all of these people are doing what they got to do, but understand the game that you're in, because it's not just you playing on the court. You got to understand the game you playing in, because there is more than one way to make money in this business. That's why they call it the business of sports. As you said, Doc Rivers said, play your role. Know your role that everybody is playing. So that's what I want to tell these guys here. And I'm not mad at anybody who's playing in the role, playing their game. Do what you got to do. But it's important that we all understand the game so that, Eric, we can all benefit from the game.
Yep. Yeah, it does baffle me sometimes when I watch these segments and we know how the sauce is made, right?
Yeah, so
I'm like, who thought this was a good idea? You know, and the beauty of where I sit with what I do at Showtime and what we do with All the Smoke is, like, I'm going to put together a rundown for a guest. So if BJ Armstrong is coming on All the Smoke, right? Like, I have a rundown for Matt and Stack as a guide for flow, to make sure we're hitting on your career beats, to make sure that we're talking about significant things that happen in your career and your life, knowing and hoping you're there because you're comfortable with those guys, you're comfortable with the team that's putting it together, and you're comfortable sharing your story. I'm not looking for like, oh, we have to get this bite on this and that so we have clickbait and we can market it. No, we know we're going to get great stories. It's what we then do with that content afterward that helps make it so special. Whereas most of these TV shows, they're like, okay, we have to have this headline because we know it's going to get this much traffic. Like, I lived this back in the day at Bleacher Report. They would literally write the headline before doing the content, and it would drive me crazy. It would absolutely drive me crazy.
And that's my Eric. Listen, I just want our kids to be prepared to understand the game that they're in. Because if you understand the game, you can navigate it. If you can understand, because people are doing their jobs. Do your job. But if you understand it, you can say, oh, now I understand what's going on here. And now I don't have to react in an emotional way because we understand the game. And that's important because, Eric, none of us can deny the importance of the media and all of the things that come with it. Like, we all benefit from this, Eric. We all benefit from this.
For sure.
We all benefit from the attention and the coverage of the game. But you got to know the game now. We have to know the game. So if there's anything to be learned from here, because I always look at these things as teachable moments. Like, okay, I see it. I see the game. You know, I see how they're doing it. Now, how you going to navigate it? Because in the end, nothing can take away from what that man did. That man had 35 points, 21 assists, and 14 rebounds. Eric. Eric, no, there's been like three people in the history of the NBA who's done that. There's nothing else to be said. Right. Eric, and what do you say?
Do you watch this guy play, though? Like, he leaves it out there. Like, that's all you can ask. He leaves it out there.
What is there to say, Eric? What is there to say? Like, what am I going to say? Like, what you going to say, Eric? What are you going to say? Like, I don't care who you are. You got to look at this and go, wow. Eric, that's a wow moment. Eric, I'm already prepared to say, hey, man, I saw Russell Westbrook play. Dad, you saw him? Yeah, man, I saw him play. Eric, I got tapes in my office here somewhere of a young Russell Westbrook and a young Derrick Rose, their rookie year. Okay, I got the whole. I filmed it. I filmed the entire summer workout prior to their first year in the NBA. There's nothing that can be said about these two people. Russell Westbrook. There's nothing you can say. Like, the man has done something that only like 2 or 3 people in the history of the NBA has ever done. What can be said, Eric? So it's important for us to protect our youth, protect our kids, so that they understand what's going on, what they can't see. Because you and I, Eric, we know how the dinner was made. And that's for better or for worse. Okay? And what we want to say here, as long as we are on the airwaves, we are going to celebrate Russell Westbrook and all of these young men who go out there and lay it out on the line. We going to celebrate it here because we understand the difficulty of playing that game, let alone winning in that game, which is beyond anything if you get an opportunity to actually win the final game of the season. Okay? As long as we're on the radio, we going to celebrate. So, Russell Westbrook, keep doing what you're doing. But it's important so that you can continue to love what it is you do. Because, Eric, not many people in life get a chance to do what they love to do. Okay? And you and I are blessed to do what we love to do. Okay? We can't let nobody get in our way. Russell, keep doing your thing. Keep loving your family. And I know him. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got a beautiful kids. I know his mom, his dad, his brother. Let that noise, let those people do their job. They got a job to do, Eric, now. Eric, they have a job to do. We have a job to do, and that's to protect our youth. You good with us? We're going to keep talking about you here, and hopefully the next time he comes on, he'll say, on the Pure Hoops podcast, they gave me love, because we love what Russell Westbrook is doing, and when every time we see somebody put up them type of stats, we going to celebrate it here. That's what's needed today. And we understand that, Eric. You and I understand that world. We ain't mad at that world. But we understand it, and let's keep this thing moving.
We hope you enjoyed that quick hitter. Check out the Pure Hoops podcast, dropping each and every Friday, presented by Pure Hoops Media. Stay pure.